Hey everybody, welcome to the latest edition of Sketchy Go Ichie. I'm your host, Roger Andrews. I'm the illustrator, the artist, the graphic designer, the content creator. Content creating for this episode is all about drawing pretty girl faces. If you like to draw that, stay tuned and enjoy.
Sketchy Go Ichie.
Alright, we are back. We are going to draw some, I don't know, how would you describe it? Some pretty characters, some pretty girls, pretty ladies, respectfully. I am working in Procreate. Got a couple of layers here, background layer and sort of a, let's see, we'll call it our drawing layer right here. Very simple, new Apple Pencil, new iPad Pro, and I'm having fun playing around with it. So let's do some subject matter that I think is probably the most fun for a lot of people to render, and that is pretty characters. We'll start with the face, of course. For me, I like to render everything, not everything, but most things in a 3/4 point of view. I know, of course, you've got to kind of bisect that initial oval shape and put your eyes in there. I like to kind of, if you notice, kind of spin the canvas area around. It's just, I don't know, something that really kind of works for me and a lot of other artists, just to find a comfortable drawing position whenever you're rendering these fun characters. Of course, you know, I have a lot of experience drawing a variety of different characters. You know, male, female, amphibian, you know, snake, reptile, whatever. I mean, I've drawn everything, but it seems to me that the characters I render the most are these kind of cutesy. I say cutesy, but they're yeah, I guess they are cute. You know, I want to be humble, but they're probably inspired most from a combination of sort of like Japanese kind of you know, these animated sort of little tiny chibi characters, and probably the next most significant influence is probably Disney, and so I think that, you know, that visual language that has been infused in me from both inspirations, you know, kind of just comes through naturally. And so when I render these characters, there's a sort of a free-flowing quality to it, and I'm hoping that actually comes across in some of the art that you've seen either here in this video or on some of the other videos that I've done. It's just there's just a natural, I don't know, I want to say there's a natural kind of language. I guess that's the only way I can kind of describe it, to the way I choose to render these. That is, again, infused by the influences that I have, and I know that it's going to be the same for, you know, every other artist who's kind of in the process of kind of developing their own style. And for me, I think if you embrace the fact that you have influence, don't run from it. Don't be like, well, you know, I like this certain style of rendering or this particular artist, and I chose to render just like that artist, and so therefore I'm a thief. You know, I'm stealing. I'm not creating my own thing or creating my own lane. The reality is, it's kind of not the way it works. I mean, you do need to have some sort of influences. It's crucial to the development of, you know, what would be eventually considered your own style. I've noticed that a lot of artists are like me, where they have either this Disney influence, or they have sort of this anime. Particularly a lot of the young artists have this sort of like this anime, this Japanese flavor to their stuff. Here's the thing that I don't know that a lot of young artists realize, is that I suspect a lot of that Japanese animation, and I haven't done the research on this, so don't don't knock me for this. I suspect that a lot of Japanese animators, probably in the 60s and 70s, were deeply inspired by Walt Disney. Let's face it, right? There's no other way to well, I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know the history of it, but it would seem to me that if you wanted to be a animator back in the the 50s and 60s, and you were looking at how to render, or you were studying it, and it didn't come from Walt Disney, I'd be amazingly shocked. So that's the case. I would highly recommend those who love, and I mean absolutely adore, Japanese style animation with the enormous eyes, and and they want to render the characters exactly like that. Do so, but just know that there's a lineage to it, and if you choose to, you can probably get a lot out of studying how Disney artists throughout the many decades, how they render. So that's me. It's my soapbox. That's me. That sound is me hopping off the soapbox. So also, I think another influence in my own personal style, and I'm freely able to recognize it, is probably and this little face is starting to get that feel, is J. Scott Campbell. Very, very successful artist. He's known. I don't want to say he was known best for, at least when I was following him the most intensely, is for Danger Girl. I think that's his own property through the Image brand, Image Comics brand. So comic book artist, and I know he's done a lot of work on Spider-Man, and I'm sure he's done a bunch more beyond that. But I feel like he's a bit of a spirit animal, if it were for a lot of artists, myself included, and so that's the influences. As you can see, again, these are very, very animated, and intentionally so. The reason I think this style sort of appeals to me in a really strong way is because the expressions you can get with a more animated face. I feel like this character here is a little more innocent. This character here feels a little more I don't know, I want to say not manipulative, but there's definitely something not so trustworthy about this character. Don't know why. But in terms of technique, I'm gonna do something funky with her hair. She's got this half-shaved head. That's one thing that's fun about having sort of art as, I mean, obviously for me it's my career, but having art as a hobby. But you can sort of create stories with visuals, which is, I think that's super cool aspect of what we do. I mean, I don't know who this character is. Clearly I'm just basically freestyling, drawing something that is, there's a blank page. I'm trying to fill it, make something interesting for you guys to check out here. But for an animated character, she is, just a little different, and there's probably a backstory that you personally can create from just looking at her, hopefully. All right, let me do another face. Let me try to do one that's a little more, she feels a bit more ethnic. Let's do one that is perhaps maybe like real sultry, like kind of a sultry character. All right, let's try that on for size. Of course, like every other character, there's a building block that needs to happen. There's that sort of the shape of the head. I've kind of indicated the hair here just because I'm a real stickler for the page. I don't know, for some reason I like to kind of work the page, even though it's not necessary. But and I don't know if you guys noticed that, like, I'm rendering these really long necks on these characters too. That's part of it. That's that's one of the things in the formula to rendering these characters. It's the you gotta kind of elongate the neck, and you gotta sort of you've gotta, if it's an animated anime character, you kind of change the proportions a bit. They're a little more squat in terms of the basic proportions of the face is just a little less realistic. It's the best way to describe it, a little less realistic. And and that's kind of how I and many other artists tackle these. So again, we're gonna try to make her a little more sultry looking. It's just really the only tip to that is probably just heavier lid. Like, you see less of her eyes and more of her lids. I also have her so, like, I don't know if you noticed, I kind of changed the camera angle where she's just a little bit lower. Maybe a little fuller lips, perhaps. I think there's a sassier quality to this character. Hopefully you guys are picking up on that. If not, I'm failing to do my job. But she feels like sassier, right? And really the trick to that is just changing the camera angle a little bit. And essentially by that I mean, a normal face on is like, that's right at you, right? But if I change the camera angle so it's looking up, now we're going to see the facial proportions will change. Like, this same line here is now moved up here. The same line still exists, but now it's up higher. So now those same eyes are there. There's her nose. There's her mouth. And now she has the appearance of like the camera. Guys are like, what the hell is that little shape? Anyways, that's what a camera used to look like. The camera is now below, looking up, whereas this one's right at you. Hope that makes sense. I should have drew a camera as like a little iPhone or a little Android phone. That would have probably made a lot more sense to a lot of people. Especially since I personally have not seen too many actual cameras these days that are not attached to a cell phone. But anyways, here it is, Pretty Girls, drawn by yours truly. Hope you enjoyed what you saw, and I obviously hope you click the like button, subscribe, and definitely hit that notification bell if you want to be informed or notified when new stuff comes. Sketchy go ichie. Live your moment. Happy sketching, y'all. Peace.